Hello, you're listening to Count Richard von Coudenhove Kalergi. Today is Friday, the 1st of February, and here's a couple of comments since my last video. First day of spring and St. Bridget's Day. I'll start with a tweet from Donald Trump. In the beautiful Midwest, wind chill temperatures are reaching minus 60 degrees, the coldest temperature ever recorded. People can't last outside for a few minutes. What the hell is going on with global warming? Please come back, we need you. You gotta hand it to this guy. I love his ability to stir it. As someone who is a climate change skeptic, I can suggest that viewers check out the work of the NIPCC, or Non-Governmental International Panel on Climate Change, founded by S. Fred Singer, who was born in Vienna in 1924 and is one of the world's leading atmospheric scientists. He set up the NIPCC in 2003 as a not-for-profit charity compiling of a group of scientists, scholars and academics who have come together to present a comprehensive, authoritative and realistic assessment of the science and economics of global warming, and offers a second opinion or evidence reviewed and stand in contrast with the IPC, the International Governmental Panel on Climate Change, which they contend is a government-sponsored, politically motivated and predisposed to believe that climate change is a problem in need of a UN solution. In November 2015, the NIPCC produced a book called Why Scientists Disagree About Global Warming, and from March to June 2016, they sent 300,000 copies of this book to college scientists and teachers across America, and released their latest publication, Climate Change Reconsidered in Poland, on December 4, 2018, during the United Nations Climate Conference. May I suggest looking at the documentary Global Warming or Global Governance, with the signing of the Global Compact in Marrakesh, Morocco, at the same time as the conference in Poland, with daily coverage by media of one and complete silence on the other. Global governance seems to be more accurate. Italy's Matteo Salvini has said that he is gathering legal evidence against the crew of a Dutch-flagged vessel, Sea-Watch 3, as calls are growing for the 47 migrants to be allowed to land, quoting, "The evidence will be handed to the judicial authorities and accuse the captain and crew of a crime and clear desire to use these immigrants in a political battle." Salvini has refused to open the ports to the mainly male sub-Saharan African migrants picked up off the Libyan coast 1 week ago. Under international maritime law, a distressed seaman or sailor who has been rescued only has to be dropped off at the nearest neutral port, which would be in Tunisia, not the 2-day, 250-mile journey to Italy. So basically all those who have been rescued recently, including the 17,000 picked up by the Irish Navy, have breached maritime law. The Sea-Watch 3 vessel has been operating under different names such as the Voss, Southwind, Furor G and Dignity 1. I wonder why. On Sea-Watch's international Twitter page, they admit to picking up since November 2015 37,000 people, and under their photo have a quote, "We will not stop to do our duty under international law." Well, while pretending to help, they are part of the problem and are creating a pull factor and then dumping them in countries and demand their peoples assume responsibility. International law was created to help people at sea, not to be perverted and abused by NGOs. Where are the rights of the European citizens to live in peace and free from aggression from migrant crime? We work hard, we pay our taxes and don't want to become minorities in our own countries. The Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban praised Mr. Salvini on his stance, saying that the NGOs carrying migrants from Africa to Europe as white-collar people smugglers, slamming the EU for backing them, and warned that everyone should be wary of the idea of Islam being part of any European country. Hungary was once part of the Ottoman Empire for 150 years, ending in 1699. Photo of the week has to be the United Arab Emirates Gender Equality Awards, representing achievements in promoting equality and gender balance in the workplace. The awards were presented by the Vice President of UAE and ruler of Dubai, and all the awards were given to men. How about that? There doesn't seem to be too much gender fluidity over there, but at least it shows they have a sense of humour. Isn't it funny that some of the world's most powerful men all wear dresses? I am reminded of something I saw in Rathgar years ago on a small road called Wesley Road, where there was an Islamic centre, and there was an open meeting with everyone invited to attend about women's role in Islam, and I couldn't help but note that all the list of speakers were men. I see Colin O'Gorman is over at the American-Mexico border on a fact-finding mission, wasting Amnesty's money. The answer will always be the same: illegal migration good, Trump bad. I hope he gets some cultural enrichment while he's over there. And now for some domestic issues. I spotted a couple of interesting tweets this week, one from Assistant Professor Aidan Regan of Political Economics in UCD, who in July 2018 announced that he was delighted to have been awarded a Jean Monnet grant for a project entitled The New Political Economy of Europe. Jean Monnet was a French political economist and diplomat and supporter of European unity, and is considered one of the founding fathers of the EU, with quotes such as "Europe's nations should be guided towards a super-state without their people understanding what is happening." This week he was critical of the front page of the Free Catholic newspaper Alive, which ran a headline, "Protect marriage and the family must be the state's primary goal." He described this as headbangers. He went on to tweet about the Minister for State for European Affairs, Helen McEntee, appearing on Sky News wearing a small cross, saying, "Am I the only one that thinks that Helen McEntee wearing a cross when representing Ireland is embarrassing?" Interesting, one of those who responded was Breed Laffin, who is a director, this is an interesting title, a director of the Global Governance Project based in Florence, and who was previously professor of the School of Politics and International Relations in UCD, saying that, "Frankly, Aidan, what she's wearing is none of your business," and went on to say that if the minister was wearing a veil, would he have said the same thing? So this is the type of mentality that will be teaching your children when they attend the EU-funded programmes. He went on to describe the Catholic Church as being a fascist organisation, but later on deleted his tweet regarding Helen McEntee. In the Irish Times on Wednesday appeared an article about the new asylum rules that create the possibility that solicitors could be ended up being personally liable for costs of unsuccessful asylum cases. This follows a new directive by Mr. Justice Peter Kelly, President of the High Court, in December. Statistics from the court services shows that asylum and immigrant cases accounted for 497 judicial review cases in 2017, more than all the other cases in all the other years, which totalled 464 cases. Solicitor Wendy Lyons of the firm KOD Lyons, who specialises in such cases, fears that the new directives could mean that people who want to appeal asylum and immigration will find it more difficult to get a solicitor. Good. It's about time that this very lucrative business was actually put under the spotlight. And Mr. Kelly also issued a requirement that solicitors must produce a significant amount of additional information, including every statement by the applicant to any immigration body in Ireland, and to produce details of criminal or civil proceedings in which their client has ever been involved in this state or elsewhere. This is all the more important with the number of asylum cases in Ireland increasing significantly. In 2018 it is expected to exceed 3,500 cases, the highest in 10 years. I hope that the new rules will apply to that 3-time failed asylum seeker from Malawi, a country where there is no ethnic tension or war, who was running as a Social Democrat candidate in North Dublin. Malawi has a population of 13 million, with 9.1% of the adult population suffering with AIDS. Approximately 27,000 people a year die of AIDS, 250 new cases being diagnosed every day, and 70% of all hospital beds are occupied with AIDS or HIV patients. Do you really think that if she is elected she will put the interest of her community first over her own self-promotion and issues involving direct provision? I noticed that RTE as well is promoting International Hijab Day. Well, last year on the 1st of February, there were 29 women arrested in Iran for taking off their headscarf. Some of them got jail sentences of up to 4 years. And just a little bit of history there in relation to Iran. In 1979, when the Shah was overthrown, 100,000 the women were ordered to cover up, that they had become too westernized, and they were ordered to cover up. And up 100,000 women marched through the streets of Tehran. But after 3 days, they eventually covered up. And I would suggest to viewers that they actually Google pictures of Iran and Afghanistan before their respective takeovers, and to see the beautiful women of Iran, very sophisticated in their dress, wearing European clothes, to go from that to letterboxes is very sad. I'd also say that last night I met a couple of the lads outside at the Regsid meeting there. It's a pity the weather's so bad. I'm sure the turnout would have been a bit better, but it was nice to meet Conan Mack, Dickhead, Critiqued, Green Pill, and Jerry, and a couple of others who, unfortunately, whose names I've forgotten. But it was very nice to meet you all, and hopefully it'll be the first of many. So that's about it. There's a couple of thoughts, which are my own. Thanks for listening. Good night and good luck.